All right, let's talk about the extremely overlooked YouTube metric that matters much, much more than views or click-through rate or average view duration or any of these freaking metrics that you hear these YouTube coaches talking about. And this is going to matter more for, like, let's say 95%, maybe even 99% of businesses out there. This metric is going to matter significantly more. So anyone who owns a business and they want to go on YouTube, or any YouTuber that just wants to treat YouTube seriously, right? To treat YouTube like a business and actually make a full-time income from it. This is the metric that actually matters. And this is the metric that completely changed the game on my main YouTube channel. I remember there was a very long time, several years, where I was stuck making about 10 to 30K per month on my YouTube channel. On my main channel, Shane Hummus, that has over 1 million subscribers. And paying attention to this metric is what really changed the game for me. So you might be wondering, what is the metric? It's revenue per 1,000 views, not RPM, because that's AdSense, right? We're not talking about AdSense. The true revenue per 1,000 views. Now, what do I mean by true revenue per 1,000 views? Well, what I mean is how much you make per 1,000 views total from the stuff that they click in the description. So if you're selling like an affiliate product, or if you have a high ticket offer that you put in the description, or if you even get them on your email list, and then, or to a webinar or whatever, the total amount of money you end up making that comes from YouTube per 1,000 views. Okay. So this is an incredibly important metric. And I actually have an entire sheet where I broke down dozens of different YouTubers. Some of them are very well known. They get millions of views, and you can see their true revenue per 1,000 views. And then others are not very well known. They don't get that many views, and they're making really good money still. Okay. So I actually made a sheet where I broke all that down. You can check that sheet out down in the description and the pinned comment below. Highly recommend checking that out. It's a real eye-opener, because there are tons of people out there that get tens of millions of views and they are completely broke. There's tons of people out there that barely get any views and they're making tons of money. Just as an example, last month I got about, I think, 10,000 views or so on this channel. These are all long-form views, of course. And I made over $50,000 from the channel last month. So that's about $5,000 per 1,000 views, right? And it makes sense because this channel is targeting a sophisticated audience. It's targeting business owners. It's targeting, maybe once in a while from this channel, we'll get like a sophisticated professional, like a doctor, a lawyer, etc. But for the most part, it's like business owners, right? Those are the types of people that we're attracting on this channel. Business owners that know that they should be on YouTube, but they just think it's too much work, right? They're too busy. It's too much work. It's too hard of a nut to crack. And they watch this channel so I can show them that it's not that hard of a nut to crack if you use the right frameworks and methodologies, which is what I teach, the right system, right? And so revenue per 1,000 views, guys, most important thing. Now, before we get too deep into that, let's take a step back. The fundamental problem with YouTube. Right now, YouTube passed up Netflix, TV, etc. as the most watched platform on the internet. For video streaming, it is number one, and it's really number one by a large amount, okay? And it's still going to keep growing, don't get me wrong. It's still going to keep growing, but there is going to reach a point where there just is no more people in the world to, like, for their market share to grow. Like, there's not going to be any more watch time hours in the world. So they're not going to be able to make money in the same way that they are right now by just simply getting more users on the platform, because they're going to run out of users, right? And it's not there yet, but it's getting there. I mean, especially like for first world English speaking countries, it's pretty much there, right? Like, I mean, how many more people could be watching YouTube? Like, they might be able to increase it a little bit, but it's not much more. So if you can't get more people watching YouTube and more watch hours on the platform, then it turns from a blue ocean into a bit of a red ocean. And that is what has happened with YouTube recently, where it has gotten significantly more competitive when it comes to mass market content, when it comes to getting views. Okay. So a lot of those mass market channels that have to get millions of views in order to make money, are struggling because it's getting harder and harder to get millions of views. So that is the fundamental problem with YouTube. And it's really a fundamental problem that happens with every platform. But we've seen this before, right? We've seen this before with many different platforms, many different times. What ends up happening, just think about it, like TV, the same thing has happened with TV. The internet, like blogs, the same thing has happened with internet and blogs. Magazines, the same thing has happened with magazines. We've seen this before. Newspapers, same thing happened with newspapers. And what happened in all of those different markets? Well, when the market switched from being a blue ocean to a red ocean, when there weren't enough eyeballs to increase the market share, to keep the pie growing, it gets super, super competitive for one. And what happens is extremely niche creators and extremely niche newspapers, magazines, TV shows, blogs, etc., start to do significantly better. People start to crave deeper levels of content, right? Deep dives and very specific niches. And now if you look at magazines, I mean, there's ridiculously specific magazines out there. Like there's fly fishing magazines, not just outdoor stuff, not just fishing, but like fly fishing specifically, right? Like super specific magazines. Okay. And that happens with every single market. And it's exactly what's happening with YouTube. And so what I've done with this channel is I make content specifically for business owners, right? Business owners that want to grow and make money on YouTube and want a system for how to do it efficiently so it doesn't take up all their time. And, you know, if they don't do that, if they try to do the normal way of YouTube, and don't get me wrong, you can do that. You can try to make mass market content. Just know that it's going to be significantly harder. Okay. I have a channel with 1 million subscribers. I've made mass market content before, and I continue to make mass market content on that channel. But I'm telling you right now, it's way harder and it's way more competitive. But if you want a system where you can make content quickly and efficiently and actually make revenue, like get sales, that's what I teach people how to do, because you don't want to be playing that game where you're competing for views unless you're really ready to play the game. What's way better is to have a tiny channel where your prime aim is to actually get sales, to actually make money. That is the way to go. It's way less hard. Your content can be way simpler. You just have to talk directly to your ICP, right? Your client avatar, or your ideal client profile. You have to talk directly to them. And if you talk directly to them, you're going to be speaking their language. You're going to be talking about the things that, you know, are their pain points. For instance, I know my clients, they struggle with time. They think YouTube's too hard. It's too hard of a nut to crack. And it's not if you have the right system, right? If you have the right system and you follow the right frameworks and methodologies, which is what I teach people, it's really not that hard to crack when it comes to actually making money, right? And you can make money from pretty much day one. You don't even have to be monetized on YouTube in order to do it. And so that's the solution, guys. Focusing on the revenue per 1,000 views. Now, there is one other metric that I like to focus on as well, which is revenue per video. Because you might have a video that has high revenue per 1,000 views, but it doesn't get as many views. And you have another video that has slightly lower revenue per 1,000 views, but it gets way more views, right? So obviously revenue per video is another metric to focus on. But those are the two that you really want to focus on, guys. Like everything else is just noise. I mean, do you want to be famous? Do you really want to be famous? Do you really want people recognizing you at the airport, coming up to you when you're trying to have dinner with your girlfriend or your family? Like, do you want that? I don't want that, you know? So yeah, being niche famous, that's the way to be, right? Be famous in a very, very specific niche, like cult famous, right? So, you know, when you're in a certain world, you're recognized, but when you step out of that world, you can do whatever you want. You're pretty much anonymous. You don't get recognized. Okay. So, that's the way to go, guys. Pay attention to your revenue per 1,000 views. That sheet is going to be in the description, pinned comment below. Check it out. Very useful. Also very eye-opening. You're probably going to be shocked how much certain people are making. And also check out my video that I did with, let's just say, Felix, right? Check out the video on Felix, who was able to scale to over $1 million a month by clicking right here. Have a good one.